Hello and welcome everybody. Sorry, I'm a minute late there. I've just been hard out with the kids doing some basketball. Welcome to tonight's call. I'm Greg, for those of you who haven't met me. A little bit about my story is for the last 5 to 7 years, I've been studying a whole lot of consciousness all around how they heal the body. It all started with healing sabotaging beliefs, mental health, etc. Because I used to have a massive sabotaging belief, don't belong in the world, so I used to fear rejection and judgment from others. And found it very hard to be out in public with anxiety and body sweats, etc. So tonight's call is all about sharing a little bit about us. We'll do some education work to get your unconscious on board, and then we'll bring Gillian out, and you can hear her story from arthritis, from bedridden to walking and back at the gym. And in this work, some of you will notice tonight you'll get a healing, you'll get a change, you'll get a notice. Others may not so much, and some of you might get nothing, but then in 24 hours when it kicks in, notice a big change. There's a couple of reasons for that. Is we have torsion fields which creates our body in the field. It has all the information. Without going too much into it, 'cause we've only got an hour. Outside of that, we have morphic fields, which is all our belief structures. So if we believe we can't heal ourselves, we have to prove it to be true. It's like if we believe we're not good enough, we're always going to struggle in that belief that we're not good enough. So as we're going through these next few weeks with these healing hours, we're going to be doing processes, bringing in some more education to really get your unconscious on board so it can actually trust in itself and me, this guy with no hair, this bald-headed fella on a call, for those who've never met me, because it's really important the unconscious actually trusts me in the work, but also for you to get the wins and get the beliefs. So it just takes a little bit of time. So if you come here hoping for a miracle, it could happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. Gillian certainly is a walking example of that, but it's going to take a few calls for you to get your education around. There's also another education video on our website, gregjonesnz.com, under one-on-one pro coaching. You can watch that for half an hour as well before the next week if you want to come along, and then I'll just sort of go more into depth about what we're going to tonight. But before we get started on the education, what I'd like to do is bring Gillian out and she can share her story. Beautiful. Can you hear me there, Gillian?
Yep, I can hear you. You can hear me. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep,
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yeah. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Now you've been with us a couple of years now. I think it was about this would have been around about 2 years ago, wasn't it? You brought the
Yep.
Arthritis Health and Vitality program originally.
Yeah, I think it was September because I remember it was around the time of my birthday. Yeah. So
Right.
just
Yeah.
about 2 years in the work. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Come a
Yeah.
long way, that's for sure.
Oh,
So
life
tell us
changing. Life changing.
tell us what it was like before you met us and then go through the process of
Yep.
how things come together.
Okay, so I pretty much was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was actually like sort of just coming into my 40s, so quite young. It sort of started there, getting a few aches and pains, but it'd come and go, it wasn't bad. And I didn't really think arthritis, oh well, that's not too bad, maybe I can handle that. But as time went on, it started to get worse and worse. And it got to the point where, like, this is like we're talking about 12 years later. So I'd been handling it over that time, but yeah, slowly over time, getting worse and worse. And over that time as well, the doctors were putting me on all sorts of medications as it was worsening. Um, so by the time that I found you, I was actually pretty much completely bedridden. Like it had taken over my life, pretty much. Every area of my body you could think of, I had arthritis in it. Um, so then, yeah, I was like trying all sorts of things. I tried diet, I tried all sorts of modalities, and some of them sort of gave me relief, but it was only ever temporary. Nothing really lasted. And so I was literally at my wit's end. And by this time, the doctors had started piling up my medication. So I was actually on five different medications. Three of them were for the arthritis, and the other two were to counteract the medications that I was on.
Wow.
So yeah, they were just stacking them up. They didn't really know what to do because everything they tried too, it wasn't working. I was just getting worse and worse. So I was working with a friend at the time who did craniosacral work. That was one of the modalities I was trying. And she said to me one day, "Have you heard about this guy, Greg Jones? I hear he's doing pretty good things with arthritis and stuff." I'm like, "Never heard of him, no." And so she looked up his number and looked up your number and gave it to me. So immediately I went out from that appointment, had my appointment, went back out the car and I rung you. And I'm like, I really need help. This is where I'm at. And so, yeah, we organised our first two sessions together. So the next day, when I was at home, it was in the morning, and so I was on my bed. I'd managed to get up and go to the toilet, have some breakfast, and that sort of thing. But that was like where I was limited to doing. That was it. I could walk down my hallway, prep myself some food, walk back, and that was it. Until the next time I had to go to the toilet. Basically, the only thing that was getting me out of bed was going to the toilet. I had to go.
Mm.
Um, and so, yeah, that morning you rang me and, we had a wee chat about it all. And you said to me, "What do you want?" And I said, "I want to be able to walk again." That's all, because that's all I wanted to be able to do, was just to be able to walk. And you were like, "Oh, easy." And I'm like, "Oh, you say it's easy. You're not living in my body, all that sort of thing." And so, yeah, you took me through one of the processes. I think that day we did it would have been the nigger flip, and then you did some two pointing on my knees and my hips. And I could actually stand up off my bed and I could walk. And like there was no pain. And I'm like, "What do you mean there's no pain?" Because I'd been like pretty much stuck to my bed easily 6 months at this stage. And it was just getting worse. So yeah, I stood up and I didn't have pain. And so we did another couple of bits of two pointing on it and on my body and a little talk around it all. And I was like, "Wow, okay, what just happened?" Okay, what happened there? That was way too easy. And so that was a good hung up. And when my daughter got home, which was later that evening, I actually hopped off the bed and I said, "Look what I can do. I can walk." And so the next day, went through the same thing, did a couple more processes on me to help clear out those blocked beliefs and emotions and things that were holding me back. And yeah, for the first time, I was able to walk down my driveway to my car. And then I walked out to the letterbox and back. And I'm just like, wow, what's going on here? So yeah, that's when I signed up to do the arthritis program that you offered. Immediately jumped into that. And so yeah, we had weekly, two calls every week at that stage. We started out with just doing the processes, doing the two pointing, sorting all that part of me out, getting everything cleared up. And yeah, within I think it was like just on the month marker or 3 or 4 weeks anyway, I enrolled myself to go to the gym. That's how good I felt. And I was like, so when I went to the gym, I got myself a PT, personal trainer, and I had to relearn everything from scratch. Like my balance was out of whack because I'd spent that long on the bed. I had no muscle mass whatsoever. So everything was really difficult and tiring. So I told her all that, and she worked out a program where we just started out with stretchers, and then we slowly built up to using weights and using the machines and yeah, things like that. And I tell you what, it's literally gave me my life back. Before I came across you, I couldn't see anything outside of my bedroom. That's how bad it had got. So now I'm off all my medication. I don't take medication at all. I'm still able to work out and just live a fairly normal life. Like I can do my housework. That's a huge thing to be able to turn around and just live normally, have more of a normal life than being stuck in that little shell that was on my bed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so yeah, that's like so we did 12 weeks together, constant work, and that's the result. I could get out of bed and I could move and I can live a relatively normal life. Some
Yeah.
things I still find quite heavy to lift. If I'm having to do something heavier, I will get someone else to do it because I'm not strong enough for that yet. But it took 14 years to create where I was at. So I've got to build myself back up and
Mm.
but just staying in that work and now I am one of your coaches. I got certified to be a 2-point coach, and I'm also helping coach the coaches. So out of something that had me bedridden and coming across you, you managed to help me turn it around. So now that I've got a life, I can live again. I'm not stuck there in that little depressed bubble. So eternally grateful. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You're
And
very
yeah,
welcome.
and I just want to, really get this out to other people just to show them that, hey, that's not the end of the road. It's okay. We can take you
Mm,
through that
mm.
part. Yeah. I mean, there's still work that I have to do on myself, obviously, because there's a lot that went into creating that. But yeah, it just gets better and better and better the whole time. So
Yeah,
yeah,
awesome.
that's
Yes,
that's me. And yeah, my
beautiful.
journey with
And
it.
and it's been great having you as training the coaches too, because you've been able
Yeah.
to tell your story and bring your wisdom in, and you're certified in both our certifications now, the advanced
Yep.
as well. So
That's
you're
right.
getting
Yep.
amazing results, and the coaches love you. It's great feedback too, which is
Oh,
cool.
thank you. Yeah.
Mm,
I just love it. I just love it. Being able to, why would you want to keep that knowledge to yourself? If it's helped me out of that kind of a place, because when you're living in pain like that, it's terrible. There's nothing worse on this earth, I
mm,
reckon.
mm.
I'd rather give birth 40 times, honestly, than trying to
Yeah,
live with that sort of pain. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And yeah, if I've got the means to be able to pass that on and help other people, then I'm all in. Let's do it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah,
Awesome.
thank you very much. Yeah.
You're very
Yeah.
welcome. Well, thanks for sharing your story.
No problem.
And I'll pop you back in, then we'll bring you out shortly
Yep.
when you've done some education.
Cool.
So when I was working with Gillian, she's got an amazing story, an amazing result there. It's kind of like, well, she's a walking miracle. I never healed her in any way or form. I'm not this guy that says I can go out and heal the world. But I'm very good at guiding people to heal themselves. And that's the power of this work. We actually give the power back to the client to actually have the structure of being able to, the tools to actually heal themselves, which is cool. And all us coaches that are in the work, if we hurt ourselves, we're able to heal ourselves as well, which is cool. So how it all works, in a nutshell, everything is structure. So our current reality is here. Well, sorry, we want to have a desired reality here and our current reality here. So a desired reality is what we want. So say, for example, I want to have health, and this pen's running out, and vitality. If you want to have health and vitality and you don't have it yet, then there has to be more. If that's more than your current reality, which is where you are now, your current reality at the identity level, then there has to be less. So here you might be sick or stiff or in pain, no motivation, or have just weakness in general. This is where you are in the current self. Just like Jilly, she was here when I first met her, to the extreme, of course. So at this current reality, you have an identity of someone who is this. So what we need to do is get you to create an identity of someone who is this, and this is the key. Focus creates reality. So wherever you put your focus in your tent, you will create. Yes, it's going to take time because every 28 days we're going to create a new loop of someone that is healthy, they can believe they can heal themselves and put everything in place to do it. But once you create a loop of 28 days, then the unconscious accepts it and you slowly shift into this. So you go from out of that into a new identity. But to start off here, we might say, okay, Greg, I really, really want to have health and vitality, but I've got some not worthy going on, or I'm not capable of having this. These are some belief structures that keep pulling you back into this identity. So the normal system, how it operates at the moment, is we take action, we go to have this, you might change your diet, you might get a result, you might come back round to here, you might go and see a specialist or a doctor, do some medication, something might happen. You might go into here and you may very well go to the gym or try exercising or swimming, get some relief. Then you might go do some acupuncture or some hypnosis or etc. What you're doing when you're going around here is going around and around and around is you're trying to fix yourself. Now, when you're teaching it unconscious that you're trying to fix yourself in that structure, then you're just telling the unconscious that it's broken. So then all it wants to do is to keep looking for the next thing to fix itself. And that's the loop you get stuck in. So when I was working with Gillian, the first thing I said to her, so what do you want to create? And she says, I just want to go to walk. I said, okay, let's create that. Not once did I go in and find the problem or find out why she couldn't walk, because that was irrelevant. We give any of this attention, we create it. Even if we avoid it, we're still giving it attention and creating it. We must stay in the end result of choosing health. So how we do that is we have the identity here, identity part of the brain, and down here we have our unconscious. And the unconscious is all about feelings. And all this is on the video on the website. You can go through and it's way more detailed. And it goes about half an hour to explain, go over all this again. It's all about wants you to keep you safe. It wants to keep things the same. And it wants you to live a long time. But if it gets stuck in this loop of I am someone's identity, then it's creating all of that in this. The unconscious is creating it because it's started a 28-day loop. We have a conscious creating brain, which is all about ego and thinking. So we don't need to work with that because it just wants to have fun. It just wants to go and have fun, whatever that means to it. So when we do the processes, and you'll experience this tonight, is when you close your eyes, it shuts your thinking brain down. So when you visualize having health and vitality and visualize walking, then the unconscious shows us what's in the way. Then we know what to clear to get it out of the way so you can actually start taking the steps of having better health. So what is the stuff that's in here that keeps pulling us back? It's like the six sabotaging beliefs, like my big one that I had to start all this work that didn't belong in the world. So I wanted to have, say, a successful relationships, but every time I go to have that, it would pull me back because I didn't belong. You don't belong having that. So as more as I try to create that, I get the anxiety, the body sweats, the fear of judgment or rejection, because it just wanted me to stay at home where I was safe when nobody could judge me. But I was a bit of a extrovert, Leo the Lion, and I wanted to go out and create stuff. So I ended up creating a whole lot of businesses in here and creating communities where everyone would come together so I could step into it to get the belonging. But after I'd created it, I struggled to get in to that structure because the anxiety and the body sweats were so bad. So about 7 years ago, 5 years or about 6 years ago, I basically I drew a line in the sand. I said, no, I've had enough. I threw my job and spent all my money and went and studied why we get stuck here and why I had what I thought was a problem because I tried to fix myself. So after studying the conscious brain and the body systems and how it all works, after about 6 to 12 months, I came across the modality called magnetic mind with Chris Duncan, and he talked about structure. And when he was talking about structure, he started talking about these sabotaging beliefs that don't belong, they're not good enough, they're not capable, they're not worthy, they don't deserve, they're insignificant. These belief structures get stuck here in our body and stop us from healing. It's like a negative charge in a positive body structure. So when we can clear these by doing the processes, we simply then shift more into our desired reality. And we do it with ease. It's actually fun because when you close your eyes, you go into your power of having this again and you visualize what it means to you having health. It could be swimming, or it could be walking in that case. It could be just wanting to have lots of energy to be in the outdoors. It could be traveling. It could be spending time with family. Whatever it may be, this is your power and this is what we must focus on. So the whole time when I work with my clients, if someone comes to me and says, Greg, I hear you do all this cool stuff. I've got anxiety. Can you please fix me? I say, no, sorry, I can't. But what I can do is if you want to create a life that you love, where there is no anxiety, then I'm your guy. And that's the difference. We must stop trying to fix ourselves, be more attention to the problem and focus on the health and take the actions to have this. Now, when we take the actions to have this, you'll be able to see on the website, there's heaps of testimonials from written and video testimonials from many different disease, autoimmune, arthritis, obviously heart palpitations, all sorts of stuff. It's all the same thing. When we focus on what we want to create, unconscious shows us what's in the way. Then we go down the timeline, which tonight we'll be doing a process called the negative flip belief. We'll actually go down the timeline, find the original event that created it, and then we'll draw a circle before it and clear it. And you'll get to experience that. And before we obviously do that, we're also doing a magical ball process So you can actually have an experience, a very simple process, which you can keep in your back pocket for any emotional feeling that doesn't serve you. And the reason I want to do that first is because the magical ball, it just brings your unconscious on board to trust me, to trust the work, and just get more of a bit of a flow. So what we must do is by focusing on here, taking the actions to have this and create this, and just let the old identity go so we can go into here. Now, when we've got this, we're in flow. We are flowing. When we're here, we can't really, like I used to be, used to feel like I'm stuck. Like I just can't get anywhere. I'm stuck. You're stuck and you're not broken. It's two totally different things. When you're stuck, that just means you haven't found the way to start flowing yet. If you're having some days you're having, oh, the body feels better, it's okay, and then oh, the next day it feels terrible. When it feels good, then it feels terrible, and you're oscillating. What's happening there is when you're oscillating, the unconscious, you take the actions, you start to notice something, but then because you've got this stuff going on, it pulls you back again. That's why sometimes we can oscillate. So in this work, generally, sort of talking of working with people in the trenches and in the healing room here in Motueka over the last 4 years, it takes 28 days, depending what you've got going on. If it's only 1 or 2 points, sore points, could be around there. Sometimes it's only 1 or 2 sessions. If you've got like 3, 4, 5, like Gillian had a whole body going on and had it for so many years, then she had to get into the 8, 12-week programs because you have to every 28 days create a new identity and unpack all of this. And all in Gillian's processes in this form, when we're working on this is all the stuff that showed up that we had to clear so she could have her health and vitality. Now, working with people in the trenches for the last 4 years, I mentioned, this is the most common emotion and feeling and beliefs that people had experience with. This is like the top list. Now, these emotions and feelings here are all created by the sabotaging beliefs. So if you have a don't belong like I did, you might experience anxiety or overwhelm or frustration or judgment. If you're not good enough, you might get anxiety, or you might because you can't take the action to be good enough, or you might be working your butt off to prove that you're good enough. If you're not capable, you might start a whole lot of things and never finish them. Because if you got it wrong, it's proof you're not capable. The not worthy, you just want to do everything for everybody else. And hopefully one day you'll get what you want. And it never happens because they're all too busy taking. The not perfect, everything has to be perfect. So if it's not perfect, then it's very easy to get triggered because it's not perfect. So you're always taking these actions to make everything perfect. And when you're trying to do that, make it all perfect, you're not focusing on the bigger picture, which is exactly what you truly want. The insignificant is not being important, the don't deserve, they're all just sabotaging beliefs. And they get stuck in the body. They get the energy gets stuck in the body, the blood and the oxygen can't flow through, and the body can't heal. So in a nutshell, how we've got amazing success with these clients and is emotions and feelings and beliefs stuck in the body. Majority of it, that's what it is. Now, quite often, some of it's before they were born, past life, family history, that sort of stuff. And if we need to cover that in the later videos, we can do. So basically, learning all this stuff, healing myself and healing Gillian and healing all these people and starting to get success after trial and error, people started asking me if I could teach them all this stuff. So after spending $100,000 on all this study, I was like, why not? So I actually created a 12-week program initially that had 12 different processes, and I was just rolling out and practicing and getting results. And people started buying the certifications to then learn this to coach and help others. So I'm now more of a teacher of the work, like Gillian's the trainer, that I am the one-on-one healing. I still do 10, 15, about 20 people a week last week in the healing room, but my main focus is now teaching. Now, teaching is something I never ever thought coming. I just came here because I wanted to have no more anxiety. I just wanted to be free from it. I just wanted to be able to have joy in a public space. That was the main reason why I came here. But it's got grown from that to now having the certifications, and we've now got 58 coaches in those certifications, which is really, really cool. In New Zealand, Australia, and the UK. So you're in very good hands. So let's do the magical ball first. And as I'm talking, your unconscious would have looked at that list and gone, I've got one of those. I've got one of those emotions or feelings. I've got sadness and lack of motivation. I'll just show you again and read it. And what I'd like you to do is just to pick or anything that you're struggling with as a mental health during the day. Just pick an emotional feeling so we can clear it. And that'll help your unconscious experience the work. So has everybody got one? I'm sure you have. Just write it down if you want to on a piece of paper. And what we're going to do is this is going to be you here. You're going to look down here to the ground and create this magical ball. This magical ball can be the size of a cricket ball, a soccer ball, an apple. It doesn't matter. It's there to support you and it loves you. It's just separate from you. And normally if we just put it on the floor in front of us. And if you're looking at the laptop, you can just visualize it being on the floor under the desk, wherever. And in this magical ball, you're going to put that word of the emotional feeling that you don't want. It's not serving you. And what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through it. It's obviously to be eyes closed, so then you can unconscious believes the whole journey to be true. What we're going to do then is you'll notice when you put that word into there, that ball grows bigger and bigger. It'll just grow bigger and bigger and bigger to the point it'll actually stop. And I'll talk you through this. When it stops growing, that's all the energy at the neuron level that's stuck to that word. And then what I'll do is I'll grow you bigger than the ball, more powerful than the ball, looking down on the ball, and the ball will start to fade away and shrink and disappear. And then I'll let you know the next steps after that. So what I'd like you all to do is to make sure your arms and legs aren't crossed and just close your eyes and let's create that magical ball. Just create a beautiful magical ball down on the floor in front of you. Any size you want, just go with what you get, set the intention to get the most out of the process. Know that you're safe, no memories die. During this process, we're going to have more satisfaction and less pain. Less of what we don't want. So I want you to think about that emotional feeling that's not serving you. Monkey chatter that's been getting in the way. And I want you to put the word in that magical ball. Put it in the magical ball looking down at it, and then you'll start to notice the ball starts to grow and get bigger. Get bigger and bigger and bigger. And just let it grow as big as your house or the room or the town that you're in or the country. Just let it grow as big as what it wants to. It might even grow as big as the earth if it's got a lot of energy attached to it. Doesn't matter, there's no right or wrong, just go with what you get. And you'll notice the ball, eventually it stops growing. When it stops growing, then you want you to get you to grow yourself bigger than that magical ball. The magical ball that loves you and there to serve you. And just looking down at that ball, notice it starts to shrink. You're bigger, you're more powerful. Looking down at that ball, it's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then you'll notice eventually the ball completely disappears. It's completely gone. And when it's completely gone, you can open your eyes and come back. Open your eyes and come back. And then I want you to think about that emotional feeling. It should feel different. What we've basically done at the neuron level, that emotional feeling was stuck to a past memory. You disconnected it during the process at the neuron level. It leaves the body and turns it into wisdom, and then you're free from it. So the memory doesn't die, whatever created it, but the emotion and feeling should feel different when you think about that word now. It should feel like it's not there. So if we can do something really quick like that and shift an emotional feeling in less than 5 minutes, just think what we can do to remove it out of the body to get it back into its health, into its desired reality on the previous page. So that's the magical ball process. What I'd like to do now is a little bit of education on the negative flip belief. Now, this process originally, when I learned it and started rolling it out, it was just to clear sabotaging beliefs, really that don't belong, that not good enough, not capable, and it works very, very well. But then a couple of years ago, I started using it on the body. So what if I get someone to choose a perfectly healthy shoulder, and then we go step into that, do the process, and then look to the past, go find an event that has resistance, and there's always an event. So we might have to do it 2 or 3 times sometimes, but then we find them all, clear them, and then the person's pain in the shoulder was gone. So I was like, so the motion and feeling and belief of those past memories was just stuck in the shoulder. And it's kind of like the spirits kind of say, hey, we need to heal this body. I'm trying to get your attention. You're not listening. So I'm going to give you aches and pains until you can help me clear the past trauma. So everything to do with arthritis and dis-ease is negative emotions and feelings and beliefs, past traumas, bitten by a dog, previous past before you were born. It's all trauma based. So the beautiful thing about this work, you don't just get your health back, you evolve into a higher self with no more triggers. So you actually start to live life that you love with health and vitality and taking action on your purpose or outdoors or whatever it may be that you actually love again with obviously great flexibility. So this process is here, negative flip belief. What we'll do is we'll choose a desired reality, and today you can choose whatever you came here, if you've got a sore body part, just choose that to be healthy. So say for example, let's go shoulder. So you would choose a perfectly healthy shoulder, and then you step in the end result, and I'll talk you through this when we do it, but you close your eyes, notice what you're doing push-ups or swimming or dancing or whatever it may be with that healthy shoulder. And then what we do is we take you up out of your body down your timeline to find an event that has resistance from you having a healthy shoulder. Now, your intuition, your superconscious will guide you to it. Your superconscious is your third form of consciousness. It's the field of information. It's been there since you were created in the womb as a dot, all the way through the womb being born. So it has all the information. So it knows what's in the way. So when we find it, we do not go into it. There could be trauma attached to this. This is one thing I love about the work that we do. We never ever talk about the problem. We never go into the trauma. We don't need to, because as soon as we go into it, it activates it all. The client doesn't feel good. I don't need to hear it. And it's just a negative structure. So we must always focus on the positive. Focus on the positive, healthy shoulder, go down, find the event. Now, we're a bird in the timeline. We don't go into it, we just know that it's there. So you probably generally get an age. Oh, I was 13, something happened when I was 13. Interesting. What we do then is draw a circle before it. In that circle, we put that you've loved, that you're safe, that you belong, my favorite. These are three powers of the unconscious. That if it gets these three things growing up as a child, the human has confidence and self-esteem, everything flows. But one of these three or three of these threes are missing, then the unconscious lives a life of trauma, and then it spends the rest of the life trying to fix it, and then gets to the point where dis-ease happens because it wants to clear it all. So we also put our DR in there. We bring this into this beautiful circle. And then we're basically looking down at that circle, and you add anything else that you put in there, like dancing or cooking, anything, grandkids, family, brother, sister, wife, husband, anything you love, animals, put it in here as well. Make it really powerful in the timeline. And then what I'll do is I'll turn around and fly you back to now, bring it back to here. And when you do, because that first event happened, there's been these other ones. We take off all the pain off of all those memories and turn them all into wisdom, which frees it from the body. And that's how we've been healing Gillian. There's up to 20 processes, but that's what we've been basically doing to heal Gillian, is we got rid of all the stuff that was stuck in her body and cleared it all. Excellent. So who's keen to give it a go? Excellent. Cool. Right, what I'll do is I'll bring Jilly out. And what we're going to do in the process is, because we've got some two pointing as well, which I don't have time tonight to go into the education of that. But what we're going to do is the two pointing. The 2 points basically is these points here, the current reality and the desired reality. So what we basically do is we close our eyes, we find the points as I'm doing it, and we'll 2 point those points, we'll hold them in the field and just do what we do, and we do from a heart chakra, and that'll help guide you guys to shift the stuff that's in the middle.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is get comfortable and close your eyes, and I'll bring Jilly out. And hopefully we have some time to do questions from if you want to. So just close your eyes, and I want you to think about that body part that you'd like to be healthy, flexible. And visualize where you are and visualize what you're doing. Notice who you're with. That's strong, healthy, and like I mentioned before, I'm just using the shoulder in my case. But you choose your part to be healthy, that desired reality. Choose it to be healthy and strong and flexible. Visualize the exercising, the swimming, or the dancing, or being outdoors, being in your power with that healthy desired reality. And then just go up out of your body and go into your timeline. Become a bird up high and look to the past. Now, being this bird above your timeline, stay above it. Do not go into your timeline, as we talked about. Just fly yourself younger and find that very first event that has resistance to that choice of that desired reality. Go find the event and just stay above it. Do not go into it, just look down at it. Just notice what age you were at that event. And then just notice the time before the event and then be above before the event and draw a circle before it. Draw a circle in your timeline of a beautiful white energy or any color that comes through. And in that circle, put that you fully belong in the world, that you're safe, you've given, received love, and also that the other event never happened. So in that circle, it's the opposite. The other event never happened. Put your power in that circle. And then in that circle, put that desired reality. I choose the end result of that healthy body part, whatever it is for you. You just choose that. And then being above that circle, pour into everything else that you love, family, friends, food, anything that puts you into your power. Make that circle powerful. And then being above that circle, I want you to turn around and then fly back to now. Dropping bombs all the way along your timeline, flying above it, don't go into anything. Stay above it and just fly all the way back to now. Flying all the way back, dropping bombs of that circle, that desired reality, everything you love, healthy body part, the desired reality, all the way back to now. And when you get back to now, just keep your eyes closed, just come back down into your body and just breathe in the nose, out the mouth, and go back into that choice. Go back in that desired reality of that healthy body part that you chose, your choice. And when you choose it, just notice it should seem different. Like there's more confidence that you can heal it, or more flexibility, or less pain. Just notice how it feels different with keeping your eyes closed. It might have just loosened up a little bit, not be so tight. Just visualize that beautiful desired reality, that body part being healthy, strong, and flexible, and visualize back with the family doing the outdoors. And as you're visualizing that desired reality, keep your eyes closed, just go back up out of your body again, come down your timeline. And now I want you to come back to being on this call here now with me. Just come to being on the Sunday night here in New Zealand on this call here with us. Your current reality. And then go back up and fly all the way back to your desired reality. And choose that part to be healthy. Healthy, strong, and flexible. Yeah. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back. Now, if we think about that healthy part that you chose in here, whatever that choice was, we have a number system, and this is the opposite to how it normally is, because everything I do is the opposite. One is good. Number one is what we want, and 10 is being stuck. So just sort of notice what that area of the body and your mindfulness after the magical ball, like your mindset, what was it like before you got on the call? you might be like a 5 or a 9 or a 7 or an 8. Or might be a 4 or 3. Just notice what number you were before the call. And then just notice what number does it feel like you are now? Has it shifted to feel like it's a 4 or a 5 or a 7? And when you notice the number, we're purely just doing this for the conscious brain to see that there's a shift. So even if you shift one number in the right direction, then you stopped it from getting worse. We're actually in the right, we're actually moving forward. If the gap between here is not big, then there's quite possibly there's a belief that you can't heal yourself, or the identity's been stuck. I've had this for 5 years, Greg, it's never going to heal. I've tried everything. All these stories that we tell ourselves, that's what stops us from healing. And would you like to jump out, Julie, and talk about that with you? What you went through in regards to that?
Yeah, definitely. So there was lots and lots to shift within me. And yeah, it's like it took me quite a while to be able to get back up to towards number one because there was so much in the way, you know, so much that's just blocking me and what have you. But yeah, like now when I do the processes, I find that I am shifting a whole lot all at once because A, there's less there to shift. I've cleaned a whole lot of it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like there's not as much holding me back now. So yeah, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah.
But there was a lot that I had to shift. And what I do find is like when I'm coming up against something new or bettering myself, moving up the ladder, if you like putting myself into more and more situations where I am at my out of my comfort zone, man, does the resistance show back up again. It's like, oh,
Mm.
I thought I got rid of that. But yeah, it's like so there's a lot there that needs to still be unpacked and still we still need to remove. But every time I do go into one of those situations and I do deal with it, do remove it, I find that yeah, it's showing up less a mess now. So we're getting through them really well. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And in a couple of weeks from now, you'll be running a workshop, sharing your story in front of a
Yep.
whole big bunch of people,
I
which would be
know.
pretty cool in Christchurch.
Yeah, standing up in front of a crowd of people. That was one of the things that I really had to work on. That's taken a little while to get cleaned up, but now the thought excites me. It's like,
Mm.
yeah, let's
Yay.
really do this. It's like I don't get well, I haven't been nervous so far, but yeah, I really actually enjoy being up on stage and sharing my story and stuff like that. It doesn't scare me anymore like it used to. So, yeah, it's really exciting. Yeah.
Awesome. Yay. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Um, some you beautiful people in the call might have some questions for you, Gillian. Is there anyone
Yeah,
here that'd
definitely.
like to have a question? If there is, just put your thumbs up or put a little sign up there so I can see. If you'd like to ask Gilly a question or me or anything about the work, because her journey is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Helen. Okay, lovely.
Yeah, love what you're hearing. I mean, I'm very much into this sort of stuff myself and still
Beautiful.
studying. Um, and I very much into energy healing and stuff for myself. This is even very interesting. And I just had a new person approach me a few days ago. I went and saw her yesterday. Does it help people with cancer? This young lady has been given more or less the death sentence. They can't do anymore. She's got cancer in the lungs and she's got a brain tumour. And I went and saw her today because in the background of my thing is I won that I cured myself with cancer. I've just learned her that at the moment. So
Yeah.
it was just interesting you talking about and I've been told that myself with my own cancer, that having something stuck there that I haven't released. So that's what
Yes.
I'm really interested in and learning more about that sort of stuff.
Beautiful.
Definitely.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. We've had one successful cancer lady. She had gut cancer, and she was just full with not worthy, really not worthiness all the way
Mm.
through her body and her gut.
That's
Once we tidied that up and her chakras, about 8 weeks, tidied her chakras up, she went back for an MRI and it was clear.
it's interesting you saying that because I know that's what I've struggled with. And when I met this woman today, that was what picked me up through my own stuff that I've been doing in personal development. I picked that up with her today I do have
Yeah.
quite an intuition of thinking.
Yes.
Beautiful.
This comes back to her, what's happening, and she just briefly talked about a broken marriage, and and I think, God, how much I bet you a lot of what's going on is why she is where she is.
Yes. Yeah.
Spot on. Yeah.
Yeah. Gillian, do you want to share like what it was for you with stuff going on
Oh
with the
yeah,
kids?
yeah, that's definitely a really good example of that too, of how much we do get on our own way and how much it does affect us the way we think. Was when I joined up to go to the gym because I was feeling pretty good at that stage, right? Being able to move and that sort of thing. So I went in and I signed up to go to the gym, and I couldn't get my first appointment with the PT until I think it was the second day after going in. And so that's all right, set the appointment and everything. Well, that night, oh my God, I was so crook. Like, I literally went back to square one, and it was to the point where I was nearly vomiting. Like, I couldn't hold any food down. I was absolutely wiped out. And Greg rang me the next morning and he says, "How are you?" And I says, "Oh, I'm just not. I'm not good at all." And he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" So I said, "Yeah, I made the appointment. I'm supposed to be there tomorrow, but I don't think I can make it because I'm just like wiped out." So we did a process, and by that night, I was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with me whatsoever. And I went into the gym the next day and worked out, no problem. And so it just shows you what my unconscious had done because I was stepping out of that comfort zone that I'd created. It was like, hang on, we're not safe doing this. Bang, you're going to get crock. And it did. It sent me back to bed, and I was like, couldn't stay awake. My daughter was quite worried about me. She was like, "Do I need to take you to the hospital?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm not good."
Mm.
Yeah. And so with being able to come in and just clear that up with the processes and calm it all down and make sense of it all again. Yeah, the next day I went to the gym and had a really good workout. I actually surprised myself at how well I could do. But that's such a good example of how we let that monkey chatter come in and take over. And
Mm.
that's all it was yeah, going back to
Yeah.
that thinking. So it's a huge part of it. And now when I'm faced with situations where I'm like, oh my God, because one of the other big things for me was traveling again. And so to go up to Motueka by myself without my daughter there to help me, like get on the plane and that sort of thing, I turned up to Greg's and I was, because I'm in Invercargill, he's up in Motueka, and I turned up there and I couldn't move. I'm like, he's like, "Whoa, you're right." And I'm like, "Well, no." So yeah, again, we just had to go through it. And it comes down to one of my big things is not being worthy. It's another fine example of it.
Mm.
Yeah. So clear it and clear it and clear it. And yeah, it's just a perfect example of how we use those old loops to keep us where we have our comfort zones, you know? And yeah, so being able to step out of that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
usually we don't even know that. That's the thing, isn't it? Unless you start
Yeah.
doing work yourself, most people don't
Yeah.
know. I mean,
Yeah. That's it.
I'm where I am now. I'm aware of it, but I know it's still
Yeah.
there. But
Yeah.
the
Yes.
Yeah.
majority of people don't know it's even there.
That's exactly
Yes.
right.
And that's where the structure comes, and that's why the structure is so important because when you focus on having health and vitality, whatever your choice is, it shows you what's in the way.
Yeah.
So when we chose Gillian being going to the gym and being safe and that flying and everything was great, it took us back down to not feeling safe at the gym because from memory, the unconscious had a massive fear because Gilly used to be a sports person when she's younger, so she knows the gym, knows sports, and the unconscious like you want to put me in the gym and do what?
Yeah.
Train like I used to, which would have ripped and destroyed her body because she had no muscle.
That's right.
So it kept her in bed to keep her safe. So once we went down and found that not safe and cleared it, then the unconscious freed her, pretty much took the pain back and out again that day, and then she was back to
Yeah.
normal. So
Fine.
every dis-ease is just dis-ease is exactly that. It's all the stuff in the body. And once we clear it, the client's free from it. It's the cool thing about it. And we do it all, as I mentioned, by never talking about the problem. We don't talk about the trauma. All
Mm.
our processes around unpacking the emotion, feeling the belief that's stuck to the trauma here. Say, for example, that's the trauma. There's pain attached to it, there's beliefs, there's emotions, there's feelings attached to it. These are all the stuff that's stuck in here. So when we do the processes, we're taking all this off that memory, which turns that memory into wisdom. So then it serves you and allows you to have this. And we do it, as I mentioned before, by using the power of the superconscious, which sits in here, the genius, the innate self, the superconscious. And it wants you to have the best life. Unconscious live long time, conscious just have fun. Superconscious wants to have the best life. But to have the best life, it only follows instructions. So the field, the superconscious, waits for instructions. So what we did today is we gave you superconscious instructions to go up out of the body into the superconscious, go find the original event. And it knows. So we work with it to then go into the unconscious and clear it, and then come back out and then come back to now. So the power of the superconscious with structure shows us what it is to do the processes to clear it. So we work directly with the unconscious like some modalities do. You work directly with it. You can over a period of time get a shift and a change, but generally they want you to go into the trauma, unpack it and that inner child, that pain, emotion, feelings attached to it, and then make it different, which is okay. And we can change that event. But if a person's had a heavy, heavy trauma, they don't really want to go into there. We don't really put them in there. It's true they've had enough trauma around it as it is. So we draw a circle before it, in this case with that process, flip it. We flip the whole timeline by never going into anything, by staying in the power, choosing the choice, being the power, going up, creating a new circle of the power. You got the two power points, we just clear everything in between. So the more dis-ease somebody has, arthritis in Gillian's case, it was like years or well, how many years, like years and years of it, and then bedridden for
12
6
years.
months.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of this. The identity, she was, I am someone with arthritis.
Yep.
So we had to clear that as well. So the morphic field would lead us to say, no, I am someone with health and vitality. So once you
Yeah.
unpack it all and clear it, then you get what you're looking for.
Yep.
And sometimes, as I mentioned, it's only a couple of sessions. Sometimes it's 12 weeks, depending on the client.
Yeah, I was going to say something I learnt when I got diagnosed with cancer. I would neither to tell anybody that I had cancer. I would say just I had diagnosed it because I wasn't going to take it on board.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Excellent. Because the
Something I
unconscious is always listening.
learned.
It's always listening. Everything you say, it'll say, oh, it has to be true because it's hearing it. Yeah. That's why thoughts are things. What we think about, we bring about.
Yeah.
But it's learning. It's learning how to deal with it, isn't it? Because most of us don't know.
100%. Yeah. And that's why it's so important to have structure because it shows you.
Yeah.
It tricks the unconscious into showing us what the problem is to clear it rather than trying to go into the world. Because if you think about this, say, for example, not worthy in here, this not worthy shows itself when Jilly was choosing to be health and vitality. I'm not worthy of that. It showed it. But if we didn't choose that and we just went into the current reality and trying to figure out what it was, the neuron of the not worthy is not turned on, it's turned off. But it hasn't been activated. So it's really hard to find it. What could it be? You can ask questions. Is this? But the true one won't show itself until you choose a choice, and the unconscious says, no, you can't have that because this isn't the way. And that's the power of the structure. Structure's key. And this structure here, we can choose it for relationships. You can financial abundance. You can choose it for having a great anything you want to. Put into the desired reality, a true purpose, anything at all. Close your eyes, step into it, feel it, breathe it, see it, and then just go up and then notice what's in the way. Cool. Well, thank you for jumping out.
Yeah.
We've just got a couple more minutes. So what I was thinking we could do now, Jilly, is we could do just a couple of 2 points in the field on health and vitality for everybody.
Yep.
I'll
Definitely.
just pop you back. Thanks, Helen. And basically what you have to do here is close your eyes and choose health and vitality. So you want your whole body to be healthy. And then I'm going to take you up, back down to your current reality. Notice what it's like now. And then I'm just going to bring you back to your desired reality. Me and Julie will find those points and hold those points in the field when we bring them together, or we hold them and they pop and they click. It upgrades your field of information. So we're holding the points in the field using our intuition through the heart chakra, putting those points in our hands or holding on to them. And then in our mind's eye, we're asking what's another option here? What else needs to happen for a different result? Which is your field getting the upgrade through the superconscious. So we're all connected in the world. We're all like the ocean, but we're separate drops of water, but we're all connected. And that's why this work's so cool, is because Once we set the intent and we find the points, the memories in the field, we can then shift them. Awesome. So let's give that a go. So what I get everybody to do is to close their eyes and choose health and vitality. Just choose it. Notice where you are. Notice what you're doing. Notice what it's like. And just choose that health and vitality. Notice the exercise, the foods, gaining control of your body, reconnect with your powerful self, your creative power and energy. Transform that body that you love. I choose health and vitality. Notice you're out and about with friends or family. Just feel how beautiful it feels to be powerful and have your health and vitality. And then what I'll do is I'll get you to go up out of your body into your timeline, grow yourself younger. Come back to now being in this call here now with us. Just come back to being in this call in your current reality. Just visualize in your mind sitting in front of the laptop or the phone where you are in the room. And then go back into your desired reality and choose it again. Choose that beautiful choice. The desired reality. Notice where you are, notice what you're doing, having that health and vitality, fully regaining full control of your body. And then I want you to ask your intuition, what are my next steps to having more of that choice? What are my next steps to having more of that choice? And also notice what your unconscious is saying about that. What actions is it wanting you to take to have more of this choice of health and vitality? This is your intuition. We're reading your intuition, a superconscious field. It's always right because we're receiving. Beautiful. And just visualize what that means for you, having that health and vitality. And then open your eyes when you're ready. There's no rush because sometimes it can feel really good to be in there. What I'll do is I'll just share my screen. And in here, we can do the website. So if you want to talk to Gilly about anything that we've covered tonight, you can go into there's heaps of testimonials and stuff down here and videos of all the people. There's Gilly there from a while ago. There's heaps of really cool stuff on here. There's the contact. If you want to send me an email, obviously you can do. Just flick that through. If you want to meet the coaches, you can do. This all about the 2 points. And here we have our certified coaches on the website. So there's Aaron, there's Gilly, there's a phone number, so you just give her a call, or if other coaches you want to work with as well. These all coaches are all certified, doing great stuff. So there's Gilly's phone number on the website. It's really easy to get to. And here, one-on-one coaching, that's the education video you can watch again. Just on here to start unpacking what is this in your way, the emotions, feelings, and beliefs. Yeah, cool. Yay. And this lovely young lass here, she had seizures, sleeping issues, aches and pains in her body. Unfortunately, she had lots of facial damage from stuff going on in the past, anxiety, fear, and I can't remember how many sessions it was now. Over a period of about 6 weeks. It's all cleared, and there's a video of her there, and also Penny, who had sleep issues, massive sleep issues. So there's heaps of information on the website. Please go and have a good look around. And if you want to reach out in any way or form, please do. And we'll be doing this call every week on a Sunday night. And we're doing it because we love the work. We want to share it. And we want everybody to have the opportunity to come in and have the healing around it, etc. So thank you so much for being on the call. And yeah, really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Good to meet you and see you. Awesome.
Yes. Thank you.